Happy Wednesday, my friends. Today is a particularly beautiful day. Bright sunshine and moderate temperature, I would say in the 70s, so quite pleasant. So, once again, welcome to Etienne's Place. My name is David Etienne, and as usual, I encourage you to join me from week to week and ensure to subscribe to my channel, Etienne's Place, so that you'll be kept informed. Good. Today we're going to be looking at a very, very, very important topic. And the thing about this topic is that whereas larger companies naturally pay attention to this area of business management, we find that a number of our small business owners, small operators, consider this thing to be unnecessary. And that is furthest from the truth. Today, we're going to be looking at budgeting. Budgeting. But not just budgeting in its own right, but budgeting and its sibling, cash flow management. Budgeting and cash flow management. Now, have you ever heard of a situation where a company may report high profits at the end of a year, meaning that it has generated so much more revenue than its expenses, so it has quite large profits at end of year, yet during the course of that year, it run into cash flow problem. Cannot pay for raw material, cannot pay its regular payroll, take care of its various obligations. And you wonder, how could this company make $1 million in revenue, have $800,000 expenses, and so at the end of the year, report a $200,000 profit, yet during the course of the year in question, from time to time, it would find itself running into what is called cash flow problems, unable to pay its bills. Now, the thing about cash flow, or one of the critical components of cash flow, is that thing that we call timing. Timing. The timing or the occurrence of a cash inflow or a cash outflow. But before I go deeper into this aspect of the cash flow management, let's spend a little time looking at budgets. A budget is not a tool that necessarily have to be complex and convoluted. Yes, large corporations will have a lot of complex items because of the nature of the business, the nature of the service they provide, etc. But a budget can be very, very basic. And today what I want to focus on is just basic budget preparation, basic budget that every small, even one-man operation can do, ought to do, is advised to do or to prepare. All we're saying is, as a matter of fact, let me even roll back a bit. The question is sometimes asked, as a small business, is it necessary that I should prepare a business plan? And my short answer is no. It is not necessary that you should prepare a business plan, especially if you're a one-man operation, etc. What is important, however, is that you need to be knowledgeable of your business. And although you may not prepare a business plan, we want to ensure that you prepare, at minimum, some cash flow projections. That is critical. You need to be identifying the sources of your cash inflow. Okay, so you can quantify and say, okay, based on my knowledge, what I'm selling, etc., I'm expecting that my average earnings income will be, say, $10,000, $20,000 per month. And also, given that you're knowledgeable of the expenses that your business will incur, raw material purchase, payment of salaries, etc., then you can make a good estimation of what your cash outflow will be in terms of settling your expenses. So a simple budget is looking at my total inflow of funds through sales, of course, whether sales of products or sales of services, and then I match that up against what I expect to be my outflow through expenses. Of course, with the best put together budget, there will always be things that pop up. Okay, so we know that, but generally speaking, we start off by preparing this budget, and this initial budget exercise will, on a macro level, clearly show you the potential of this business. You can see after you prepare your budget and you look at your inflows versus your outflows expected, then you may end up in a position where your budget is showing that, oh, at the end of the year, I'm going to come out in with a positive number because my projected inflow of cash exceeds my projected outflow of cash. Or it may be the opposite way. Now, very important to note that most small businesses, for the first to second year, you tend to find that you may run into a loss situation because you're just cranking up the engine, so to speak. You have a lot of expenses. You have not yet picked up momentum. You have not yet expanded your clientele base, and so it will take some time. But usually, that budget will give you an overview of what your expectations ought to be in terms of money's coming in, money's going out. That is your budget in a very simple form. I now come back to that cash flow management concept. Now follow me. You prepare a 1-year budget and you have estimated that each month I'm going to earn $1,000 of income. And if you just keep that as the average figure, sometimes it'll be a little less, sometimes it'll be a little more, but you have averaged it to be $1,000 per month. So if you prepare a 1-year budget, I'm going to see 12 $1,000 for each month. So I'm expecting that at the end of the year, my total budgeted income is going to be $12,000. Then I go to the expense side and I'm looking at all my lines: electricity, utilities, internet, telephone, salaries and wages, raw material, you name it. I'm going to identify all those line items representing my expenses, and I'm going to project. And let's say, just as I'm projecting roughly $1,000 of income each month, let's say I project expenses of about $700 each month. So theoretically, I'm expecting that month by month, I will come out with a $300 positive result. That's my budget. That's my budget. Okay? So by the end of the year, I'm expecting to make some profit. That is my budget. Good. Here comes the little twister. Whereas you can project with some degree of certainty the timing of that $1,000 coming in, or the timing of when you would need to be paying out these bills for electricity, for raw material, etc., you can reasonably estimate those timings, but you can never pin it down to a science. So here's where the problem comes in. You will find that the time when you need money to pay bills that are due you may find that the revenues that you're expecting to earn, the cash that you're expecting to come in, has not yet arrived. Not that it will not come, but it's just that you may find that most of your bills fall on the 15th of the month, but then most of your income fall on the 28th of the month. What is that saying? I have enough money to take care of my expenses, but the time when my expenses come knocking and asking to be paid, I do not have any money at the time. So then I realize, wow, here is a need for cash flow management. So as I said earlier on, you prepare your budget, everything is looking rosy. Yes, because my expected inflow of monies will exceed my expected outflow of monies. So I have a positive budget result. I'm doing well. And it may be true because maybe by the end of the year, that's what the overall picture will show. But month by month, you'll realize that the cash flow of inflows and outflows are not communicating with each other. It's not like Mr. Expense is saying, oh, by the way, Mr. Income, you need to be arriving at a certain time because I'm going to be due to be paid back. No, they have a mind of their own. And so you as the business owner will have to realize that, okay, I am going to have to manage my cash flow because the timing of the receipt of funds will not necessarily coincide with the timing of the expenses that I need to undertake. Cash flow management. So therefore, I'm saying prepare yourself a budget. As simple as it may be, it is necessary to prepare a budget. But you need to go one step further. Prepare a month by month cash flow statement. When I say a month by month cash flow statement, I go a little deeper than that to say in any given month, you need to further map out your cash flow. For every week of that month, you need to see what bills will come due, what payroll is due to be paid, what supplies need to be bought, and then look to see the kind of timing for your monies to be flowing in. No, that part might be tend to be the challenging thing because yes, you do your work, you send your bill to your clients, and you have done all you need to do to earn this money, and you have really earned the money. But although you send your bill to client, it sits there for 1 week, 2 week, 3 months, 2 months, and you can't get paid. And so you have a lot of money tied up in what we call accounts receivables, money due to be received and can't collect. That's the reality of business, but then you have your expenses that are knocking on your door. So that calls for very strict cash flow management. So quite often you'll find that, especially small businesses, they start out and then within a couple of months to a year, they run out of business because of this cash flow problem. Now, businesses that have a more sound financial footing can always go to your bank, whatever financial institution, and arrange to have what is known as a line of credit or a business credit card. Very, very important, very useful because what that does is provide you with funds that will fill the gap between the time when bills need to be paid and the time when your income earned will be received. Okay, so if I have a $1,500 bill to pay, but I have not yet received on those 5 invoices I sent to my clients, then if I'm fortunate enough to have a line of credit or a business credit card, then obviously I can, as it were, gap financing through that means, to those two means, line of credit or business credit card that can fill the gap so that by the time I collect, then I can be paying these. So it's very, very, it's like a revolving thing. And the good thing about these instruments is that it's not like a loan where if you borrow 20,000 and you owe 20,000, you have to pay interest on 20,000. No, it's a case where you have this credit limit available to you. But of course, as you know, you only have to consider repayment and interest charge on that component, that amount that you have utilized of the line of credit or of the business credit card. Okay. Unfortunately, when you're a small business just starting up, you have not yet built up a credit, any reputation, any history, so to speak, then it's kind of difficult, especially now, to go out and get a line of credit or to get business credit card. So with that said, you need therefore to be even more in tune with the fact that, hey, proper, astute cash flow management is critical. So we have our budget and we have our related cash flow statement that is going to help us to manage the inflow and outflow of cash. Good. I'll go to another component. And this one, believe me, you mainly find large companies, large corporations, including this in their financial management structure. Most small business, one-man business usually say no. And it may sound convoluted and technical, but it's a simple concept, that of variance analysis. Simple. Let's apply variance to budget. Let's apply variance to cash flow management. Once you have prepared your budget, you look and see, okay, month over month, I'm expecting to receive $1,000 income. Month over month, I'm expecting a payout through expenses, etc., of $700 each month. That's your budget. So you're going to have your budget for month 1, month 2, month 3, etc. Now, next to each month, you need to have 2 columns. One is actual. So remember, you have charted out some numbers, income and expenses for the month of January. That's your best guess. That's your best estimate based on your knowledge and what you expect to happen. By the time January runs through, you now would have real numbers, real income earned, real cash received, real expenses paid. And so you can put your actuals next to your budget. And in the third column would be your variance column. Budget, actual. The difference between the budgeted figure and the actual figure will give me a variance column. And it's nothing technical. It is just a measure of how my actual outcome, my actual inflow of funds, my actual outflow of funds through the settlement of bills, etc., differ from what I thought they would be. So for example, in January, I may have thought that my inflow of revenue would be $1,000 for January. I may see that my actual, by the end of January, and I'm looking at my real numbers, I see that I only made $950. So right away, I realize I have a variance of $50. It could be the opposite, that instead of just earning 1,000 as I projected, I have now earned 1,200. So I have a variance of 200. Very important to know. Right away, it tells me that I could have a positive variance, meaning that things work out better than I thought, or I could have a negative variance. Things work out not as well as I thought and hoped for. Those are variances. Now, if you notice, I mentioned variance analysis. Don't leave out that word. It's no point looking to see, okay, I expected to earn 1,000, I earned 950, so I earned $50 less, and stop there. No, you need to explore, you need to question, you need to analyze the reason behind this difference. Is it something that you had overlooked? Is it something that you're not doing? Is it that you need to now revise your 1,000 per month estimate? You need to come up with a plausible explanation as to why your actual differ from your budgeted figure. And also, you need to, through the analysis, you will ascertain whether or not it's going to be a one-off difference or, based on what I'm seeing, I think the pattern, especially after you have done your variance analysis for 2, 3, 4 months, If you notice that you have a steady negative variance, it's a pattern, it's a trend, as you want to say, wow, what do I need to change? And there are times when the variance can be positive, but one thing is critical, very, very critical. A lot of time, individuals are more keen on exploring the reason behind a negative variance. Of course, if something goes wrong, you want to know why so you can take corrective action. But believe me, in business, when you have a positive variance, you also need to know why. Reason? If it is something that I have done this month that caused me to have a positive variance, that caused me to earn more than I earned in prior months, I may want to replicate this thing that I've done over and over. So I need to know the reason behind the positive variance so that I can know, as it were, entrench it into my operation so that I keep on having positive variances going forward. Okay, again, if it's a negative variance, of course, I said, you would have explored that. You want to take quick action to ensure as much as possible that this negative variance does not recur. When we come to the expense side, it's the same principle. If I expected my utilities to be $900 or $300 this month and it end up being $280, I want to know why. It's a positive variance because I end up spending less on utility than I thought, but I want to know why. I want to know why. Is it that um, I am now utilizing my electricity more, efficiently? Is it that I am ensuring that the air conditioner is not left on all night? What am I doing that caused me to have a positive variance on my utility bill? And when I discover the reasoning behind the variance, and I want to, as it were, as we would say, I want to milk it. I want to do it over and over. I want to adopt that way or method of doing things so that I always benefit from this positive variance. Okay, so note, budget, best estimate based on past knowledge or based on your knowledge of the business in which you're in or based on similar businesses in the same industry, same size as you, doing the same thing. You say, okay, I think I can use their numbers as a good estimate of what my numbers should be. Those are what your budget is going to be based on. Next to the budget, we have actuals. Actual is, yes, I've projected these numbers of inflows and outflows. Now comes reality. The month is now over. I'm looking back at what really transpired, and I can see how my real actual numbers match up to what I thought they would be. And the third column reflects that comparison. That's what we call the variance column. And we need to analyze. So that is variance analysis, analyzing why, questioning and trying to find the answers to why is this different? Why is this different? And the question must be asked, should be asked, whether or not the difference is positive or negative. Good. Now, what you'll find at times when you have gone, let us say you had prepared a 1-year budget. After you've gone 3-4 months of doing a comparison between budget to actual, looking at your variances, analyzing to know what is the cause of those variances, what are the cause of those variances, then if I find that the trend for it, I'm using utility again. If I find that my utility expenses are always coming out in a negative variance, meaning that I was budgeting for $200 each month for utilities, but for the past 3 months, I've been having my utilities be $210, $220, $230. So that for the past 3 months, I've had a negative variance, meaning that my expenses on utilities end up being more than I projected. It may be time for me to look back and decide, okay, maybe what I need to do is to prepare a revised budget. Because maybe the actuals that I'm now seeing that are giving me these variances, these actuals now present a truer picture of what my real utility expenses are. compared to what I thought they would be when I prepared my budget. So you may find that after you have done budget to actual variance and analyze it, you may decide, okay, it's time for me to prepare a revised budget to be more in line with reality. Okay, so that's about it. Very basic, very simple, but very, very, very important tool to manage your business. Believe me, if you have a mom and pop shop, if you have a little thing around the corner, if your monthly revenue is just going to be $2,000 each month or $1,500 each month, but you have to be spending on, XYZ, buying material, buying this, buying supplies, paying bills, etc. You need to prepare a budget. Simple, basic thing. You need to prepare a budget. That gives you your starting point. You need to be comparing your budget with actual expenses month over month. You need to be looking at cash flow, the timing of monies coming in, the timing of monies going out. One of the things that's saying most businesses is bad cash flow management. Yes, you're making a ton of money. Yes, that ton of money far exceed the expenses that you have, and so it's a good business. But the time when the expenses are due to be paid is not coinciding with the timing of the monies coming in. So you end up with a cash flow problem. As I said before, for small businesses who are not able to get these bridge finances, these cash flow management funding, so to speak, through line of credit and business credit cards, you need then to take a very serious approach to managing your cash flow. All right, cool. So that again, I thought I would give you a tidbit on that. Again, these are little tools that I know that my fellow small business owners will find very useful. And as I say, not complex, very basic, very simple. And I always like to repeat that whenever I present something here, I go for the simplest form so that you can understand the concept, the principle, the rationale behind it. I'm not getting into any technical stuff. If your business is such that it requires a more detailed and technical approach, then of course. And if you think you can't do it on your own, then yes, speak to your accountant, speak to your financial advisor, speak to your business consultant, and get things moving. But on your own, these are things that you can do and do well. Okay? So thank you again for joining me today. David Etienne again is here, bringing you simple solutions to what you may have thought were complex issues. But no, they're not complex. Most of them have a common sense basis. And here at Etienne's Place, we try to unearth, we try to discover the basic fundamental rationale of these principles and bring them to life so that you can say, oh, that's all it is? Yes, that's all it is, nothing more. Okay? So thank you again for joining me. Enjoy your day. I mean, as I said before, beautiful day outside, beautiful sunshine, far from, from scorching heat. So I think as much as possible, enjoy it. And as usual, keep on keeping on. As usual, work hard, love hard, pray hard, worship hard. Give God the glory for everything. Because no matter what we do, how we do it, when we do it, at the heart of it all, it is only through His power, it is only through His will that we hope to even eke out an ounce of success. So, to God be the glory for everything. So, enjoy the rest of your week. And as I remind you to subscribe to Etienne's Place, keep informed, be empowered. God bless. See you in the coming week. Bye. Oh, before I go, to all the mothers, I will not be seeing you before Mother's Day, which I understand, which is Sunday coming. So to all my clients, to all the moms, to all the moms, to all the moms, you're the greatest, you're the best. I love you, right? Enjoy your Mother's Day. And fathers, listen to me. Shape up. Shape up. You understand me? Shape up. And I'm asking all the mothers, if you're not treated super extra special this Mother's Day, talk to me. Let me know. Give me his name, give me his number, give me his telephone number, give me his social security number, give me his DNA test, give me his blood type, give me his fingerprint, everything. Talk to me. Okay? Love you. Bless.